Republican Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy with me now. Senator, first, Happy New Year and welcome to 2022. Let's hope it's a better year than 2021. So looking past, you look at this pledge to pass the social spending package. You look at the latest poll numbers for President Joe Biden. Yesterday, the Rasmussen poll showed 57% of people disapprove of the president's job approval rating. So that translates. Does it translate into the whole party, do you think?
I think it absolutely does. What is there to approve? The Afghanistan pullout, raging inflation, fuel prices, food prices, the disaster at the border, COVID not being controlled. We need a change in 2022.
So if we have more lockdowns, wouldn't that force another massive spending package and make it more likely for this social spending package to pass Congress?
I don't think there's going to be more lockdowns. The situation is totally different. If there were a lockdown now, there would have to be a completely different rationale than there was before. And that in itself would call into question the competence, further call into question the competence of the administration. We can get out of this, but we have to have a strategy. The American people have to buy into it, and we have to go forward. What we have now is not being successful.
So, Senator, Democrats don't really have a lot of legislation to run on, do they? I mean, the bipartisan infrastructure bill was led by you and 10 other senators. Then the Democrats held it up in the House for months before finally passing it.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. They thought they could hold the infrastructure bill hostage, a bill the American people like, but about 70% like. They could hold it hostage to get their Build Back Better bill. That did not work. Indeed, pulling off the infrastructure bill, that was our strategy. We thought would make it less likely to pass the Build Back Better bill, the bad bill. So going into this election year, I think Democrats just haven't done a very good job, and the American people are going to recognize it.
Now, should the bipartisan infrastructure bill have passed over the summer, or when it passed in the Senate, part of that money would have been used on in the short term on supply chains. Democrats held up this bill. We saw a massive issue with supply chains growing at the end of the year, adding to inflation. Do you think voters will put all that together, that the delay may have caused the supply chains to have more problems?
I don't know if they'll connect the dots that closely. They'll look, though, and see that this administration has not shown very much confidence. Period. End of story. And so, yes, you're right. We could have more quickly started to addressing the logistical issues, and the bipartisan infrastructure bill does that. But there's a heck of a lot this administration has failed at. I think the voters will remember.
So, Senator, I wanted to ask you about the tornadoes from last week, but also the potential for some today. We did see some today. So your state has dealt with tornadoes and hurricanes. The areas affected don't just need one-time help, do they? I mean, you're still looking for help from impacts of Hurricane Ida and Laura in 2020, right?
Yes, and when you've gone through an area that's been devastated, it makes you realize how a community comes together over 100 years. You wipe it clean, you don't put it back together in 1 year. People who've moved away need a place to move back. Businesses need to grow as people move back. It is a process. I want to credit the generosity of the American people. Wherever it is in our country, if there is a natural disaster, we come forward and we help. And that's one of the greatest things about being an American.
Yeah, it sure is, Senator Bill Cassidy. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you. Looking forward to great things from the state of Louisiana this year.